Hi, everyone. Welcome to Dad's Turn to Talk. My name is Bob, and I'm joined as always with Josh. And today we're going to be talking about the Batman Part 2 getting delayed. This is some news that came out today. This is from an article over on Deadline. Let's go ahead and share my screen here so we can see that. So according to this information here, the Batman sequel is heading to 2027. Specifically, it is moving from October 2nd, 2026 to October 1st, 2027. So it's being delayed an entire year. We also got a response from James Gunn, which I want to share. And James Gunn says, when asked if it was true, he says, yes, it is true. The only reason for the delay is there isn't a full script. Those of you who follow me here probably know that already. Matt is committed to making the best film he possibly can, and no one can accurately guess exactly how long a script will take to write. Once there is a finished script, there's around 2 years for pre-production, shooting, and post-production on big films. So James Gunn's response, the reason why it's delayed has to do with the fact that we do not have a finished script yet. So we've been talking about the Batman and specifically the Penguin. We reviewed the whole show on this channel. So, Josh, what do you think of this news?
It's absolutely ridiculous. I am livid about it. I think it's ridiculous that they cannot get this movie off the ground. You're telling me he still has not finished a script from a movie that finished in 2021. Are you kidding me? Come on, Bob. It's like,
well, in all fairness, the movie released though in 2022.
Okay, fine. 2022 still, like right after the movie ended, he should have started writing the script or have some sort of idea of where he wanted to go with it. It's too weird that he has not even like come close to finishing the script. And now we have to wait 2.5 years. That's going to be a 5-year gap from the Batman to the Batman Part 2. It's going to lose people's attention. And then we have the Penguin, which was a great series. And that's going to be, everything they built with that seems like it's a waste. I think I just don't get it.
All right. Just personally, it doesn't bother me as much. Part of the reason is at the end of the day, I want a good movie. I think that's ultimately what's most important. And I think Matt Reeves has done a good job. I liked his Planet of the Apes films. I also really liked the Batman. I liked what he helped spearhead through the Penguin, although he wasn't the main writer, but he helped come up with a lot of the story and production and everything on the Penguin. I thought they did a good job with that. There are rumblings of a season 2 of the Penguin, so there is the possibility that maybe we'll get a season 2 in between. There's also a lot of other rumors going around that maybe they're planning on bringing Pattinson's Batman into James Gunn's DCU because the Batman Brave and the Bold, which was supposed to be James Gunn Batman, according to Andy Muschietti, is now on delay as well. So there is that possibility. Now, I don't think that that's really going to be the case. They're going to go because I don't think that the Batman and how grounded it is fits into this world that James Gunn has developed with all these superheroes running around. I don't think it really fits. So I don't think that's the direction they're going to go. But another rumor that I did hear, I think that makes a lot of sense, is there is the possibility that they will film Part 2 and 3 together.
I heard that.
Just do back to back. That would seem to make sense if in fact the Batman is a 3-part trilogy, which is what they had talked about doing. And if they go that direction and film them back to back and take a little bit of time to get the scripts right, I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me as much. But I do understand what you're talking about. I do wonder what this will do to interest level, because once James Gunn's universe fully hits, how interested are people going to be in the Matt Reeves universe when you've got a whole nother universe fully going, and the fact that it was so long between films? So that I do have a concern with, that it could kill some interest for this film.
I mean, what are they going to do? Batman Beyond, with an old Robert Pattinson by the time it's done, and then Part 3 will be Batman Beyond: Return of the Joker. I mean,
that's fine, because you want to cast a whole bunch of old guys for an origin story anyway. So I'm completely fine with this. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But again, the biggest thing that I have is the fact that it could kill interest. I'm not
Right.
as bothered by it as you are.
Let me ask you this. They did The Penguin, which you and I and Derek absolutely loved, right? You've built the story with that. The very end of The Penguin, there the what's her name says nobody can stop you, and you've got the bat signal that beams in. You can't
Right.
do a second season of The Penguin because now you've introduced Batman. Like
No, I
it's
mean,
Batman Part 2, unless you have Batman in the Penguin series.
I guess you could do that. Real quick before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. All right, Josh. Yeah, there is always the possibility that they bring Batman into the Penguin, but I don't think that they're gonna do that. I think the fact that the Penguin stood on his own, as far as in the show goes, I don't think you need to bring Batman into the Penguin. I mean, maybe as a cameo, but I don't think he needs to be full on in the series. I think the way they did it was just fine.
I mean, I
Um,
understand you wanna do a great movie. I understand that you wanna take your time, but that is a long time. I mean, you're talking about 5 years. Like, I get, like, Beetlejuice, you had, what, 35 years? I get it, but people are really into Batman. Like, we wanna see Batman on the big screen, and now we're not going to get it. And everyone's talking about, are they just waiting for Superman to see how Superman does? And if Superman takes off, then okay, then we have a couple years to build up Batman. And maybe they are introducing Pattinson in this universe, even though you don't like it. Maybe that's what they're doing.
it's not that I don't like it, it's that I don't think it fits. If you look at how grounded the Penguin was, for example, I don't think it fits into this what we saw. I mean, take into account Creature Commandos. There's all these metahumans running around, and you look at um the Superman trailer, and you've
Yeah.
got Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, all these metahumans again running around along with Superman. So this is a world that's populated with superheroes, and they all know of each other. And yet the Batman was a very grounded, down to earth story. I just don't
Yeah.
think that that fits into this world that James Gunn is building. I think I think that's why he wanted to do his own Batman. But the thing is the Batman itself was a decent hit. Was it the biggest Batman film of no, I mean, obviously there were bigger Batman films, but it
Right. It was
was a
very good.
success. The Penguin itself was a huge hit. And yeah, I don't think he wants to give up what Matt Reeves is working on because there's money to be made there. So ultimately, I think that's kind of where we're at. I think I really think it does have to do with script issues, but mainly because Matt Reeves is known for taking a while to do scripts. But
Jeez.
again, for me, the biggest thing is that I think people could lose interest.
That's what I think. That's what I think. And then, okay, so if you're waiting this long, then do Batman Brave and the Bold then.
So for you, you're fine if they just cancel it all together and just do Brave and the Bold then.
Yeah, at this point, it's so many years apart that I don't get it. Why should it take this time? I mean, again, people are gonna lose interest. They're gonna be like, guess what? We have the Batman Part 2. Wait a minute, didn't the first one come out 5 years ago? Like, it's like they keep doing it. And then it's like I was like, when they said it delayed, okay, maybe it gets delayed a couple of months. It's a full year. A full year, 2027. Just nuts to me how it's taking this guy this long to write the script. Yes, you're doing other movies, but when you and I talk about this constantly. When you create a movie franchise, you have things in motion that you would like to see. I've told you this when I said, "Oh, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end." It's like for me, when I joke around and I say, let's do the Batman origin story, and I want to do like 10 movies. For me, it's like you've got the beginning of Batman, and then you're dealing with all of his rogue gallery. And then towards the end, where you eventually could do a Batman Beyond or the Dark Knight Returns, whatever. He should have something in mind. He should have had something in mind when he started filming the first Batman.
But you're taking the position here that that the Batman was already planned to have sequels? What if originally when it was written, it was planned to be a one-off?
Then they should have
Okay.
said that then.
They did leave it open for a sequel, but what if it was just planned? Okay, we'll leave it open for the sequel just in case,
I
but
don't what
let's see how it does.
No, I think they wanted, unless it completely bombed, which it didn't. I think they always planned to do a couple of them.
All right. So,
I don't know.
like I said, for me, I don't want them to scrap this. I'm willing to wait. I waited forever to get certain movies come out, and they didn't bother me, like for example, between uh we'll stick with comic books. After our comic book movies, after Batman and Robin, what was it? 8 years before we got another Batman movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't bother me waiting for that. Superman, uh, when when was Superman 4, The Quest for Peace? Was it 87?
1987, and we didn't
Okay.
get another
Well,
movie until 1996.
what do you mean we didn't get another one until 96?
Superman Returns.
That wasn't in 96. It was
In
2006.
2006. That's
Okay,
right,
so we're
2000.
talking almost 20 years. My
Yes.
point is, if we're willing to wait that long, I can wait an extra year, especially if they give me a good movie. Now, if they give me
Yes.
garbage, then I'll be upset. But I'm willing to give it a shot. Now, I will say this. I do get where you're coming from. If we keep having to wait and having to wait and having to wait, eventually I'll probably lose interest. Now, as of right now, my interest level is still high because I did enjoy The Penguin. In fact, I'm actually doing a rewatch of it right now,
Mm,
and I'm enjoying it just as much the second time as I did the first time.
nice.
So I'm willing to give it a little bit, but they need to do something to whet my appetite. We'll
Yes.
put it that way.
Yeah, and
And
I'm watching The Batman. I've been watching The Batman. I love it. It's so different, but it's so good, and look, I'm not saying, I know I said just get rid of the whole thing altogether. That's not going to happen. But I'm just like, I just felt like DC had all this momentum with the Superman trailer, with Creature Commandos, and the Penguin, and then they do this. And they're like, "Oh, gotta wait another year."
I will say, I don't think it's business wise. It's a very smart decision. I think it would have
No.
been better to capitalize off of it when you can. But at the same time, I do want a good movie. So I don't want them to just rush production and them not have a finished script. Because one thing James Gunn mentioned is that Marvel was doing that a lot, that they were bringing
Yeah,
out movies and they didn't even have complete scripts with them when they started filming. So yeah,
right.
I want to give me a good completed script with a good storyline. Um, I will say this, that they're going to need to do something with Batman to whet my appetite, because if you look at the DC universe, what they got coming out, obviously we got Superman coming out, and we are enjoying Creature Commandos, but I'm looking at the rest of the slate.
Yeah, what do we
Um,
have? Swamp
you
Thing?
know, well, of what you've got coming out soon, or the next projects. You got Lanterns, which I'm kind of looking forward to.
Yeah,
But
that
then
looks
you got
good.
Supergirl, which I'm not 100% sold on. Now I'm
I
interested
kind
because
of am.
I like the actress,
Yeah, I
but
did too.
but give me some details about the story, um and let me see some footage before I say anything, because right now my interest level isn't really high on Supergirl. And then we're getting a Clayface movie. I mean,
How are you doing
so
Clayface without Batman
you see
again?
that's isn't that the same mistake that Sony just made?
Yes, why are you doing a Clayface? Then do a Batman like you said, Bob, a streaming one.
So yeah, I mean
Put it on streaming.
there are things that we can
Ridiculous.
do
It's
here. Well,
annoying me.
and when I say streaming Batman, I'm referring to like a Batman show. That's when Josh
Yes,
says what I talked about in streaming. I'm talking about a show, because I think Batman was always best as a show. Like, look at Batman in the animated series, because you were able to
yeah,
dive into the rogues gallery, and so that's kind of
exactly.
what I would like to see. But yeah, so we're looking at 2027, October of 2027.
He's gonna
Uh,
be retired by then.
so
My
all
God,
right.
27.
Obviously, this is somewhat of a disappointment, but
A huge disappointment. I was waiting for it in just 2 years. Now I gotta wait 2.5 years, 3 years. Then they'll delay it again to 2030. You'll have a completely white beard. I'll have white hair. And
All right.
then, oh, ridiculous.
Well, let's
All
see what happens. As for me, I'm willing to give it a shot. Let's just see what happens. Um, all right. You got any other thoughts on this, Josh?
No, we will see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching today. We hope that you'll hit that like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and just come and check out our full episodes over on the channel. As always, my name's Bob, and I'm joined again with Josh. Derek will be with us when he comes back from vacation. And until then, you all have a happy new year. You all take care.
God bless crypto.
Bye-bye.